Illegal border crossings have dropped to their lowest level since the 1960s under President Trump's administration, continuing a decline that began during the final year of President Biden's term. Trump has intensified border control measures, shutting down asylum pathways and conducting high-profile deportations, including sending migrants to prisons in El Salvador, creating a powerful deterrent. Migrants stranded in Mexican border cities like Ciudad Juarez have largely stopped attempting crossings, with many giving up on the hope of legal entry into the U.S. Despite the sharp decline in illegal crossings, Trump has not yet fulfilled his campaign promise of mass deportations, and some shelters built for returnees remain largely empty. Experts attribute the drop to a combination of Trump's tough policies and Biden-era initiatives that pressure Mexico and Panama to curb migration flows before Trump took office. Concerns about President Biden's cognitive decline, once quietly discussed among Democrats, have gone public through books and reports detailing confusion and disengagement during his 2024 campaign. Aides and donors witnessed troubling signs, including Biden dozing off during prep, forgetting allies, and relying heavily on a teleprompter at casual events. Despite this, his team worked to hide his condition, publicly portraying him as sharp while privately acknowledging his struggles. After a poor debate performance against Trump in June 2024, pressure mounted and Biden withdrew, with Kamala Harris stepping in as the nominee. In post-presidency appearances, Biden has seemed more rested but still shows signs of the decline that marked his final year in the office. Some small U.S. companies like Elwood Group and Big Time Advertising are benefiting from President Trump's tariffs as businesses shift away from Asian suppliers and seek domestic alternatives. Elwood Group, a Pennsylvania metals firm, saw a 35% sales increase and is expanding its workforce due to rising demand driven by construction firms diversifying supply chains. Big Time Advertising experienced a nearly 40% revenue boost as car dealerships increased marketing efforts to cope with consumer uncertainty caused by tariffs. Other companies such as Duke Manufacturing and Formic Technologies are cautiously optimistic, seeing increased inquiries and short-term gains, but hesitant to invest heavily until tariff effects prove lasting. While some firms thrive, many others remain uncertain, struggling with supply chain complexity and economic instability fueled by fluctuating trade policies. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned that the U.S. would pause Ukraine peace negotiations if no progress is made in the coming days, urging both sides to act quickly. The U.S. has proposed a ceasefire framework to Ukraine, Russia, and European officials, though its contents remain undisclosed. Ukraine and the U.S. signed a memorandum for a broader economic agreement, including a reconstruction fund, aiming to finalize it by April 26. A draft U.S. deal proposes access to Ukrainians' mineral wealth in exchange for past aid, which has sparked tensions with Ukrainian leaders. Despite disagreements, Ukrainian officials remain open to a ceasefire if Russia agrees, and technical talks would continue in Washington next week. Corey Lewandowski, former Trump campaign manager, has become a powerful, unofficial advisor to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, managing her meetings, advising on contracts, and even influencing personal decisions despite having no formal role. Lewandowski helped coordinate a DHS tour for tech firm Palantir, which later received a nearly $30 million contract, raising concerns about his influence and potential conflicts of interest. Though listed as a special government employee, Lewandowski does not have to disclose private business interests, worrying some White House officials who fear unchecked power due to his close ties with Noem. Lewandowski has been involved in DHS decisions like staffing changes and high-profile ad campaigns, while denying involvement in contract awards or any romantic relationship with Noem. He played a key role in helping Noem secure her position as DHS Secretary, further cementing his influence within the department and drawing scrutiny over ethics, transparency, and favoritism. In his first major public speech since leaving office, former President Joe Biden criticized the Trump administration for what he described as significant damage to Social Security and American values. Speaking at a disability advocacy conference in Chicago, Biden emphasized the importance of Social Security, calling it a sacred promise, and accused Trump of trying to undermine it without mentioning him directly. Biden dismissed Trump allies' claims of Social Security fraud involving centenarians as exaggerated and joked about wanting to meet such long-living recipients. The speech also addressed concerns over staffing cuts and service reductions at the Social Security Administration, while Trump responded by pushing stricter policies on benefits for undocumented immigrants. Though not a legacy-defining speech, Biden used the occasion to stress unity and empathy, criticizing the new administration's tone and warning against increasing national division. Elon Musk has fathered at least 14 children with multiple women and uses his aide Jared Burchell to manage financial and privacy agreements with the mothers. One of the mothers, Ashley Sinclair, rejected a $15 million offer tied to a strict NDA, leading to a legal battle and eventual paternity confirmation. Musk promotes a pronatalist ideology, encouraging educated women to have children and suggesting surrogacy to reach his goal of a legion of offspring. Women who resist Musk's conditions reportedly face financial retaliation, as seen in Sinclair's decreasing support payments during legal disputes. Musk's handling of these relationships is highly secretive, controlling, and entangled with his broader political and philosophical ambitions. President Trump has overseen a makeover of the White House, infusing it with gold touches similar to those at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump brought in John Eichart, a Florida cabinet maker, to add gilded carvings to the Oval Office, including for the fireplace mantel and molding. The president has also placed gold details around the White House, such as gold coasters, cherubs, and a large FIFA World Cup trophy next to the Resolute desk. Trump's affinity for gold dates back for decades, with his personal properties like Trump Tower featuring lavish gold decor. Plans to further renovate the White House included a patio in the Rose Garden and potentially a ballroom for events, with Trump aiming for the patio's completion by summer. President Trump's sweeping tariffs, including on U.S. allies, have strained relationship with Europe and Asia, as many countries hesitate to fully align with Washington in its trade war against China. Despite calls from U.S. officials for a unified front against China, European leaders are instead exploring renewed cooperation with Beijing, with EU-China talks and summits now planned. America's allies, including Japan, South Korea, and Australia, remain uneasy, balancing their reliance on U.S. security with growing doubts about Washington's consistency and reliability. Trump's aggressive policies, including tying trade to security and disparaging traditional alliances, are pushing countries to reassess their global alignments, potentially benefiting China. Experts warn that by isolating allies and prioritizing short-term leverage, the U.S. may be weakening its long-term strategic position while China capitalizes on its more cooperative stance. The Trump administration is scaling back white-collar criminal enforcement, especially in cases involving foreign bribery, money laundering, crypto markets, and public corruption, citing competitiveness and national security. A Trump executive order paused enforcement of the Foreign Corrupt Practice Act, leading to drop cases like those against cognizant executives and a broader re-evaluation of prosecutions. Attorney General Pam Bondi is refocusing Justice Department efforts on drug cartels and international crime, while some prosecutors are reassigned or dismissed amid leadership changes. The SEC and CFTC have also cut back enforcement, dropping major crypto cases and investigations, raising concerns among defense lawyers about future business. Defendants like Boeing, Trevor Milton, and Glencore have used political targeting and economic importance arguments to reduce or eliminate penalties. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has taken a highly public and media-centric approach to her role, often prioritizing photo ops and messaging over operational effectiveness. Her publicly driven tactics, such as posting during ongoing raids and filming dramatic videos, have frustrated officials within DHS and ICE, who say they hinder mission success. Noem has launched costly national ad campaigns targeting undocumented immigrants and pushed for aggressive immigration enforcement policies, including mass deportations and stricter tracking systems. Despite her visibility and some early results like reduced border crossings, internal tensions have emerged with other key Trump advisors, leading to disputes over authority and strategy. Noem has built a lawyer inner circle and taken an increasingly controlling stance within DHS, including installing politically connected allies and administering polygraphs to root out leaks. Americans hold $35 trillion in home equity, but rising property taxes, maintenance costs, and difficulty accessing that wealth due to high interest rates are making homeownership more financially burdensome. Many homeowners feel house-rich, cash-poor, as surging home values increase paper wealth but also lead to reduced financial aid, capital gains tax burdens, and limited refinancing options. Accessing home equity is increasingly tough, with home sales and cash-out refinances down sharply and lenders tightening restrictions on borrowing against properties. Rising property taxes are a major concern, with some areas seeing tax bills more than double since 2021, prompting voter-backed relief measures are spending cutbacks by owners. Home equity is affecting college financial aid eligibility, as many private schools count it as an asset, reducing aid offers and creating confusion and stress for families.